In 1987, Frank Porter of Semiodyne hired the Morelli Construction and Mining Co. to excavate Mount Greylock and uncover the epicenter of the supernatural mystery that the Stargate experiments were uncovering.
Welcome back, user. Frank Porter. Welcome to Semiodyne USA's virtual message assistant for user. Project Director, Frank Porter. Sender, Paul Morelli, Ev. The Morelli Construction and Mining Company. Dates of receipt ranging from March 24th, 1987, to March 30th, 1987.
Between March 24th and the 30th, Paul Morelli and his crew encountered bizarre phenomenon from blockages clearing themselves overnight.
Message 1. March 24th, 11:14 a.m.
Hey Frank, it's Paul Morelli. We ran into somewhat of an issue today. Seems part of the tunnels caved in some time ago.
Message 2. March 25th, 7:38 a.m.
Hey Frank, it's Paul. That being said, I don't know how the hell this happened, but the section of the tunnel here caved in is clear. Tunnel's been wired up with a few lights too.
Mysterious fogs, and this thing. After all of the torment, the men were mentally eroded and physically mutated into cannibalistic monsters.
Morelli Greylock Event, Group C. Notes. Uncommunicative. Warning, patient will attack on sight. Do not interact. Immunity to pain. Patient exhibits cannibalistic tendencies. All treatments ineffective.
Late that night, they set out from the caves down to the nearby counties, disturbing 49 residences into the early hours of the 31st.
And you, the ordinary PP people who made me what I am today.
Max Headroom premieres after moonlighting tomorrow.
We interrupt our current program at the request of the Massachusetts State Police.
At 3:34 a.m., Massachusetts State Police confirmed the presence of a potential group of active and unidentified home invaders who have targeted 49 residences since approximately 11:15 p.m. last night. The attacks appear to be random, spanning across the towns of North Adams, Cheshire, Savoy, and Windsor.
We catch a glimpse of one of these men, albeit one of the less deformed ones. That very same day, Tiffany Crisaldi, who was once involved with Semiodyne's child therapy program.
Okay, Tiffany, we're recording now.
Okay.
So, Tiffany, you just had your 6th birthday, didn't you? I'm going to play some sounds that will help you through this exercise.
Went to her OBGYN, where her baby rapidly vanished into thin air. She wasn't alone, however, as a plethora of mothers suffered the same consequences of this missing children incident, leaving Berkshires in terror. Her husband, Alex Marsh, stepped away from work for the two to recover from the trauma together.
After we lost the baby, I stayed home for almost a month. We both took it hard, but I was just really worried about Tiffany.
In early April, members from Project Stargate collected the mutated miners.
Morelli Greylock Event, Group, Notes. Uncommunicative. Malformations. Notes. Communicative. Notes. Warning, patient actively pretends to be benevolent and friendly. Strong homicidal and cannibalistic tendencies. Killed and partially consumed 6 staff members on April 6, 87.
And provided local officials with a cover story about an
anti-American militia group operating out of western Massachusetts,
where some miners became menacing cannibals, others were distorted into acid-spitting heathens.
Warning, patient may sit up very suddenly, without provocation, to projectile vomit at any staff in area.
And others still were given the
inhuman power of suggestion and influence over others.
Around 9 p.m. on April 8th, Arnold Rivers, an archaeologist and anthropologist hired to inspect the findings from within Mount Greylock.
I was involved in the Morelli construction project at Mount Greylock. I was hired due to my background in anthropology and archaeology.
Began recording his testimony from his visit to the mountain.
Paul Morelli took me on after securing a government contract for the Greylock project. I'm recording this because
he informs whoever might listen to his tape about the evidence of all types of cultures spanning across all eras of humanity who had come to worship what existed within the ruins.
So I need to leave some kind of record of my findings. Ancient Chinese, Arabic, Indian, Roman, Spanish, Viking. Many of the artifacts were pre-colonial. Others were shockingly Clovis in nature. Finding Clovis artifacts here means that People have been coming to Mount Greylock since at least 11,000 BCE.
It was the biggest archaeological discovery known to man.
I, quote unquote, could be responsible for the biggest historical finding of all time, he said.
But Rivers was so affected by the whatever was in the mountain that he simply would not return.
But I don't know why. But I could feel it. Whatever's down there, I could feel it. It was like being trapped in a fever dream. I don't know, I haven't been right since Mr. Porter called me on the evening of March 28th, and we spoke on the phone briefly. I informed him that I wasn't going to return to the site.
Since that time in late March, Rivers grew paranoid about what Semiodyne might do to him. Considering what he knew, bringing him to record this tape.
I'm recording this because I believe my life is in danger. Mr. Porter called me on the evening of March 28th. I informed him that I wasn't going to return to the site. Oddly, he quickly accepted my second refusal, wished me luck in my future endeavors, but before I could say anything else, he'd hung up. I feel a looming threat that I can't really explain. Would the government really send someone to kill me over this?
And send every piece of information he had to a private investigator and radio host known as Jim Melgren.
So I need to leave some kind of record of my findings. I've connected with a local investigator who's been trying to get to the bottom of this. I've shared with him everything I have.
Unfortunately, Rivers was right to fear for his life as he was suddenly attacked and consumed by the entity that tormented the Morelli crew.
This can't be. Oh my god, that's a basement door. Where's the damn camcorder?
I'm going to keep the tape recorder running, and I'm hiding in here with my files.
It is here we run into a bit of an anomaly, and I don't bloody mean a A tape recorded by Paul Morelli is recovered from within the mountains the very same day. But last I checked, he wasn't doing so hot. That's the least of our concerns though, as the tape says it was recording on October 3rd, either 1987 or 1997. It's not really clear. And you know what that means. Time travel. Around April 14th, Don Wright of Don Wright Tonight forwards a police report to the public about the ongoing investigation into the numerous break-ins and attacks by the
anti-American militia group. Authorities continue to investigate the recent crime wave that swept across northern Berkshire County. It was 2 weeks ago when the emergency broadcast system was engaged due to the activity of a group of individuals who had been targeting and breaking into people's homes.
He assures the public that things are being handled and they can rest easy as things return to normal.
Back to normal. Back to normal. Back to normal. To normal. To normal. To normal.
However, at the end of his show, a mischievous hacker gets hold of the program by tampering with it before it hits the broadcast transmitter.
Back to normal for residents of Berkshire County.
Well, that broadcast went completely tits up, didn't it?
We're looking into it, sir, but we experienced no issues with the broadcast on our end, so our engineers believe that the signal was hijacked before even reaching the transmitter.
What the hacker says during the incident is unknown, but it threw GBS executive Alan Rosenbaum into a fit.
I've been getting chewed out by our asshole CIA liaison for the past 2 hours. What the fuck happened? But by then, the hijacker had already said everything they wanted to say, hadn't they?
Yes, sir.
What a complete fuck up. They made us look like a fucking joke.
WRAV-TV received an influx of concerned calls about it the following day.
Once we started receiving phone calls from viewers, we switched to a backup transmitter.
But by then, the hijacker had already said everything they wanted to say, hadn't they?
Yes, sir.
What a complete fuck up. They made us look like a fucking joke. Right now we've got Gerald standing in for him tonight. It's not just a show.
And all the while, no one can get in touch with Don Wright despite multiple calls.
Speaking of which, Don, where the fuck is he? Well, we've been trying to reach him. We've called him multiple times. We've tried his pager.
Culminating in his producer being sent to his home.
You've been to his house? Well, no. I just thought that maybe he'd be upset if I did that. Get in your fucking car and go to his fucking house! You bring him into the studio! Do you understand? Yes, Mr. Rosenbaum. Of course, I'll do that right.
Unfortunately, when Liam Hollander arrived, he found the deceased, mutilated corpse of Don Wright.
Adams Police Department, Dispatcher Carey speaking.
Yes, I'm calling to report a break-in at my coworker's house. My name is Liam Hollander.
What is your coworker's address?
It's on Parker Hill Road in Adams, number 491.
Can you tell me, is anybody hurt?
Yes.